Hello again everyone and welcome to this Empire review of the latest MMO shooter hybrid from Bungie and Activision and the follow-up to the initial 2014 release, Destiny 2. This time around, your Guardian, which you can either import from your previous save without your loot, or start afresh, is introduced to a world without light, when Ghaul, a big nasty Cabal warchief, comes along and captures the Traveler, the source of the Guardian's immortality and epically cool powers. In the campaign, you explore the solar system, trying to figure out how to get your light back and pulling together the vanguard for a counterattack on the last human city and home of the Traveler to stop Ghaul from using its light to further his plans for conquering the universe. In order to do this, you have to apply just the right amount of gunfire and explosions to pretty much everything you face, which I don't have a problem with because this is, first and foremost, a game about shooting everything. Your choice of character impacts more about how you will support the other players that you encounter in the world in either the PvE or PvP elements of this game. Titans are the tanks, warlocks are the wizards, and scouts are the stealthy ones. Not that it really matters because you've always got guns. And boy do you get guns in this game. Loot erupts throughout the campaign and then in the post-story gameplay where you explore the various worlds that have unfolded before you. Bungie has had 3 years of feedback to channel into this experience, and one of the biggest criticisms was the grind factor that the first game had, which was huge. Don't get me wrong, it's still present here. In fact, once you get to 265 power after you've reached maximum level, you'll notice that the loot doesn't slow down, but your progression does. Thankfully, they've made it possible to get to those maximum stats by playing the game normally, but progression is quite slow at the top. Activities in the game world are plentiful. Each map now has interesting extras like lost sectors and public events marked on them, and people can actually plan around them instead of guessing about it. It makes getting those sweet engrams easier. You can also do specific tasks to unlock powerful gear engrams which will always help you level your character a bit higher and are quite easy to obtain. So there's always a path and there's always something interesting to do. One area that could have been improved on would be the baddies. Nothing is really new here if you've played the first game in any sense. Your enemies are the Fallen, the Hive, the Vex, and the Cabal, now the Red Legion, and the Taken. All of them are returning from the first game, and whilst they've been reskinned and they behave slightly differently, they're the same as they've been since 2014. This may upset some people, but they're the well-established antagonists of this game series, and quite frankly, they're still an awful lot of fun to shoot. And shooting is what this game does best. Bungie are truly masters of their craft here. Destiny has always been, at its heart, about shooting everything. All of the extra lore and content wrapped around it simply reinforces how good the gunplay is on this game. Additionally, changes to how you level up your class and inventory loadouts have led to some interesting synergies and playstyles to support all of those explosive moments. Now, there's been a lot of stick given about the microtransactions and bright engrams, which are given once you hit level 20. And then get enough XP to level up above the cap. See, the problem is that you can also buy the bright engrams if you want to, using real currency, and also that these bright engrams contain boosters for armor and weapons which some people thought might give you an advantage. However, after playing this game, I think those people were pitching a fit a wee bit early. The boosters drop everywhere, from chests in the various maps to the gunsmith in the social spaces, and pretty much every other task that rewards your character. Don't spend money on bright engrams thinking that you're going to get an edge in PvP either. Some dude who has invested a few more hours than the hundreds of dollars you've spent will still smash you repeatedly in the Crucible. Trust me on this. Destiny 2 can be condensed into the following statement. They've taken the good bits of Destiny, minimized the bullshit, and added an interesting storyline and fleshed out characters who they spent the first 3 years hastily developing after the community demanded an actual in-game story. The microtransactions are a tad cynical but not unexpected, and the grind is still present but also much more bearable than the first game. New environments and old enemies mean that whilst the scenery is new, the foes are familiar, and the guns and loot economy are both much improved over the first game. Destiny 2 starts off strong, but like so many games, a lot of what you'll get out of it will depend on how many of your friends are playing it too. New clan systems and guided games make it easier to get into the endgame content if you're flying solo, and they really incentivize clan activities by throwing out more engrams to all members if you complete key activities on a weekly basis. I'm going to give this one an 8.5. It's a bloody good shooter, wrapped in an MMO world that has been much more thoroughly realised than the first. In fact, if everyone could just consider the first game a 3-year beta for this one, I think we'd all be much happier. Thanks for listening. This was Dave.